The seaside villa my parents bought me was given to my husband's secretary to live in. Lin Chu posted a 9-photo grid of a pool party on her Moments, with the location. Thanks to the CEO for gifting this luxury villa. I will definitely continue to work hard. In the photos sent by the butler, the courtyard sculptures were smashed and the flowers I planted were all removed. I directly sent the photos to Gu Chengze. Mr. Gu, what is the meaning of this? How did someone else appear in my villa? Gu Chengze replied with a voice message in seconds, with the sound of ocean waves in the background. Don't be so petty. We have plenty of places to live. I want to see her get out of there within 3 hours and restore the villa to its original appearance. Gu Chengze read the message but didn't reply. 5 minutes later, I auctioned off the villa for 1 yuan. His antique collection was smashed to smithereens by me. Since someone isn't listening, I don't mind teaching him how to behave again. As soon as I put down my phone, it rang. It was Gu Chengze, who had ignored my message earlier. Mu Wanqing, what exactly did you do? How did Lin Chu get kicked out by security? Gu Chengze's voice was filled with obvious anger. My tone was calm. That villa is mine, and I just sold it. The new owner's only requirement is to clear out everyone and everything inside within an hour. There was a moment of silence on the other end of the phone. Wanqing, are you misunderstanding something? There's nothing between Lin Chu and me. She's just my secretary. Gu Chengze's tone softened a bit. Don't you think your approach is too aggressive and a bit too sensitive? I couldn't help but laugh. Gu Chengze, you're the one who doesn't avoid suspicion and doesn't know how to keep yourself clean. How can you turn around and blame me? Gu Chengze didn't respond to the question, skillfully changing the subject. Wanqing, you have so many other villas under your name. It's a waste to leave them idle. I was just making reasonable use of the resources. Lin Chu and I really didn't do anything out of line. He paused, his voice becoming a little impatient. Don't be so petty. I curled up the corners of my lips, but my eyes turned cold. Since Mr. Gu is so generous, I'm sure you won't mind your precious treasures being turned into a pile of junk, right? After speaking, I opened my photo album and selected a few photos to send over. In the photos, Gu Chengze's cherished antique collection was smashed to smithereens, with shards scattered all over the floor. There was a few seconds of silence on the other end of the phone. Mu Wanqing, he said my full name, word by word. I know, this is his expression of extreme anger, but I don't care. Gu Chengze, you should have seen the photos, right? This is the price you pay for trying to challenge my bottom line. If you dare to do such transgressive things again in the future, what you will lose is far more than these worthless trinkets. After saying that, I hung up the phone directly. In the years since we got married, we have rarely had fierce disputes. But that doesn't mean I will choose to back down because I'm afraid of conflict. Once the bottom line in a marriage starts to retreat, it will only lead to the other party taking it for granted. What's more, the beginning of this marriage was not due to pure love. Back then, the Gu family was eager to enter the core of the Beijing circle and needed the help of our Mu family, which led to this business marriage. When we first met, Gu Chengze did show his care and gentleness, and his face was quite deceptive, and he was also considerate and appropriate in handling affairs. At that time, I thought that perhaps living with such a person wouldn't be too bad, so I didn't object to the family's arrangements. Fortunately, in the years after our marriage, we gradually developed feelings for each other. We also had a very sweet time, and were once regarded by the outside world as a perfect match made in heaven. However, at every stage, I clearly understood that I had to put myself first. Later, the passion faded and life returned to peace. I can understand and accept that all feelings will eventually fade, even disappear, but I will never allow the reason for this disappearance to be the intervention of a third party. from childhood to adulthood. The thing I hate the most is when others touch my things. If an item is dirty, I will throw it away without hesitation. If a person is dirty, the way to deal with it is the same. Gu Qingze never contacted me again. He has always been like this. Once his mistakes are exposed, he will choose silence to escape. Until this afternoon, a message from Weiwei popped up on my phone. Wan Qing, why are you ignoring me? I saw you in the venue just now and called you for a long time, but you didn't respond. I frowned slightly and quickly replied, I didn't go out today. You must have mistaken me. Is it really not you? I saw that sapphire blue fishtail dress you customized before, along with your Mr. Gu. Wan Qing, wait. I took a picture of the front. A photo quickly popped up on my phone. Gu Qingze was wearing a well-tailored black suit, and Lin Chuchu was by his side, wearing my haute couture dress, smiling and talking to people. I stared at the photo for a full 10 seconds, before I could react. A message popped up on my phone again. This time it was Gu Cheng's assistant, with a screenshot attached. It was Lin Chuchu's moments. First time attending the Cloud Top auction. Thank you, Mr. Gu, for showing me the world. Finally knowing what the real high society is like. Love. JPG. The accompanying picture was of her sitting in the front row seat of the auction, with Gu Qingze beside her with a slight upturn of his lips, obviously acquiescing to her selfie and caption. I suddenly remembered something. Gu Qingze hates being photographed the most. Even during the sweetest period of our relationship, he would frown and refuse if I wanted to take a couple's photo. It seems my punishment this morning was too light. Not only did he dare to bring another woman to the most exclusive auction in high society, but he also let her wear my dress and allowed her to post photos of them together on social media. I forwarded the photo directly to Gu Qingze. Explain this. Why is she wearing my dress? The message was marked as read, but there was no reply. A few minutes later, I took a photo and sent it. Weiwei's message popped up immediately. Wan Qing, what did you send to CEO Gu? He suddenly stood up and rushed out, and Lin Chuchu couldn't even stop him. I didn't reply to my best friend because Gu Qingze was already calling. In the photo, I was sitting in front of the fireplace, holding a small, exquisitely crafted wooden box. The surface of the box was spotless, obviously often wiped and maintained. Wan Qing, put that down. Gu Cheng's voice trembled slightly, with obvious panic and anger. What do you want to do? Inside the wooden box were some carefully preserved items. A few yellowed photos, a bracelet, and a delicate jade pendant. The girl in the photos had a bright smile. This was Gu Cheng's white moonlight, his first love, who died of an illness. The Gu family had mentioned it unintentionally. I suddenly understood the reason for all of Gu Cheng's recent unusual behavior. Lin Chuchu bore a 7 or 8 point resemblance to his white moonlight. Wan Qing, don't touch those things. Gu Cheng's voice was almost pleading. Gu Qingze, you know I've always hated people touching my things. Just like how you feel right now. Now, immediately tell Lin Chuchu to take off that dress. There are restrooms at the auction venue. Let her change. There was silence on the other end of the phone for a few seconds. Wan Qing, aren't all your dresses only worn once? What's wrong with letting her wear one that you don't want? I chuckled softly, but my tone was even colder. Gu Qingze, my things, even if I don't want them anymore, I won't allow others to touch them. You have two choices now. Either have Lin Chuchu take off that dress before the auction starts, or... I shook the box in my hand, and the items inside made a subtle clinking sound. Bear the consequences. After saying that, I hung up the phone directly. In the following moments, Weiwei's messages kept popping up. Wan Qing, what did you say to him just now? Your CEO Gu rushed in, pale-faced, and dragged Lin Chuchu out without saying a word. Wait, they're back. Oh my god. What's going on? Lin Chuchu is wearing a cleaner's uniform. I curved my lips. This outcome was even better than I had anticipated. Wan Qing. Lin Chuchu's expression. Oh my god. It was as priceless as it could be. Everyone was looking at them and whispering. I was getting embarrassed for them. Wei Wei. Take some pictures for me. Wei Wei quickly sent several photos. In the photos, Gu Qingzhe sat expressionlessly, and Lin Chuchu was wearing obviously ill-fitting gray work clothes. Her makeup was smeared, and her eyes were red and swollen. The threshold for this auction is extremely high. And you're not allowed to leave midway. That girl has to sit through the whole thing in that cleaning uniform. Wei Wei's tone was gleeful. Your CEO Gus face is as black as the bottom of a pot. Wan Qing. This move of yours is just too ruthless. And Lin Chuchu too. She could have provoked anyone. But she dared to provoke you. She probably won't even know how she died in the end. After the auction, Wei Wei sent another message. When they left, your husband's face had turned liver-colored. And Lin Chuchu was sobbing uncontrollably. Wei Wei sent new photos. That sapphire blue fishtail dress was now discarded in the trash. Wan Qing. All set. I immediately posted the photos on my Moments, simply adding, trash belongs in the trash can, in less than 5 minutes. The likes exceeded 100. Smart people could tell at a glance that the dress in the trash can was the one Lin Chuchu had been showing off in her Moments. My meaning was self-evident. Wan Qing. CEO Gu lost so much face today. Won't he give you trouble when he gets home? I replied leisurely. Don't worry. He wouldn't dare, even if he had the guts. In the evening, Gu Qingzhe came back and walked up to me with extremely low pressure. Mu Wan Qing, where is my thing? He opened his mouth, his voice hoarse. I just stared at him quietly. Without saying a word, Gu Qingzhe tried his best to suppress his emotions. Wan Qing. I admit that my behavior today was inappropriate. It was my fault for not considering your feelings. But I've already done what you said. And lost face in front of everyone. Can you please stop making a fuss and give me back my thing? I raised an eyebrow. Gu Qingzhe. You lost face because of your own inappropriate behavior. Not because of me. Aren't you going to explain what happened today? Gu Qingzhe avoided my gaze. We have a purely superior-subordinate relationship. I was just rewarding Lin Chuchu for doing a good job. I sneered and pressed closer. Gu Qingzhe. There are so many ways to reward someone. Why did you choose the worst one? Luxury villas. Auctions. Astronomically priced dresses. What do these things represent to an ordinary girl? You know very well. You wouldn't even take the couple photos I asked for. Yet you're willing to appear in public with her. Each time you indulge her, you're giving her an affirming signal. That's why she's become increasingly arrogant, even daring to provoke me. Moreover, does her pathetic workability really deserve your rewards? Gu Qingzhe remained silent. Your favoritism towards her is simply because she looks so much like your lost love. Isn't it? I bluntly exposed his thoughts. But a substitute is ultimately just a substitute. She can never become that person. Gu Qingzhe. You need to be clear about this. His breathing became somewhat heavy, but he remained silent. I took out the small wooden box from behind me, handed it to him, and softened my tone. Qingzhe, I understand your obsession with her, and I've never wanted to ruin that beautiful thing between you. But I hope you won't ruin the beautiful thing between us. Today's incident is the first. And it must be the last. Gu Qingzhe took the small wooden box and placed it aside, then hugged me tightly. Wan Qing. I'm sorry. His voice was hoarse. I really know I was wrong. There's really nothing between Lin Chuchu and me. They'll definitely stay away from her in the future. Something like today will absolutely never happen again. Please, don't be angry anymore. Okay. His voice was pleading. and his arms were tightly wrapped around my waist. I sighed softly and ultimately chose to compromise. Then, I looked up and bit him hard on the lips. Only when blood seeped from the corner of his mouth did I release him with satisfaction. This is what you get for offending me. Remember, there must never be a next time. Okay. Gu Qingze showed no impatience. His eyes filled with fervor. He scooped me up into his arms and carried me into the room. After a night of open and honest communication, most of my dissatisfaction dissipated. The next day, the auction incident and my pointed post on social media turned Lin Chuchu into a laughingstock at the entire company. And Gu Cheng's obvious and deliberate distancing from her became a trendsetter for everyone. The one thing the company wasn't short on was snobs who knew how to suck up to those in power and kick those who were down. Colleagues who had been fawning over her the day before were now being merciful just by not kicking her while she was down. Someone even posted a large number of photos of Lin Chuchu wearing a cleaning uniform at the auction on the company bulletin board. In the photos, Lin Chuchu's eyes were red and swollen, and she looked utterly disheveled. People even pointed and gossiped about her without any hesitation as they passed her by. She's the shameless one who picked up the CEO's wife's unwanted clothes to wear. Lin Chuchu's days at the company became increasingly unbearable. The cafeteria auntie would add extra ingredients to her food, and she would often take a bite of her meal and change color. When she went to the restroom, the door would suddenly lock, trapping her inside for an entire afternoon. The most ridiculous thing was that everyone pretended nothing had happened that day. She called Gu Chengze for help, but he hung up on her directly. I heard about these things from the chief assistant, President Mu. Should I intervene? I shook my head. Assistant Li, don't overestimate my kindness, and don't underestimate her ambition. Since she chose this path, she has to bear the consequences. A week later, the chief assistant told me that Lin Chuchu hadn't come to work for 3 consecutive days. I thought she finally couldn't hold on and was about to resign. But as it turned out, I underestimated her. That day, Gu Chengze had a very important multinational cooperation negotiation. A project worth at least $100 million. 20 minutes before the negotiation, Gu Cheng's phone rang. It was Lin Chuchu calling. He hung up the phone expressionlessly, but immediately after, she sent a message. President Gu, I'm sorry to bother you at the last moment. I wanted to thank you in person, but it seems our fate ends here. Thank you for your trust and support. Meeting you was the luckiest thing in my life. I will repay your kindness in my next life. Gu Cheng's face turned pale instantly. He hurriedly called back, but no one answered. In desperation, he called the assistant to use the positioning system to find Lin Chuchu's location. Postpone today's negotiation. He left these words and rushed out, ignoring everything else. When Gu Chengze arrived at Lin Chuchu's apartment, he found her unconscious in the bathtub. The wound on her left wrist was constantly bleeding, and the entire tub of water had been dyed red. Her face was as pale as paper, and her breathing was weak. Gu Chengze hugged her out like crazy and sent her to the hospital for emergency treatment. It is said that on the way, Lin Chuchu's body gradually became cold, which reminded him of the day his white moonlight died in his arms. Fortunately, she was sent to the hospital in time, and Lin Chuchu was finally rescued. After learning about the various bullying Lin Chuchu had recently suffered in the company, Gu Chengze flew into a rage. But I didn't know any of this at the time. I happened to be at the same hospital for a prenatal checkup. The test results showed that I was 6 weeks pregnant. I couldn't wait to tell Gu Chengze the good news. I happened to see him walking out of the elevator, and I greeted him with joy. Just as I was about to speak, Gu Chengze slapped me heavily. I lost my balance and fell directly to the ground. My cheek was burning with pain, and I was completely stunned. We've been married for so many years, and he's never laid a hand on me. Mu Wanqing. How can you be so vicious? Gu Chengze looked down at me, his eyes filled with anger and disgust. I've kept my distance from Lin Chuchu as you requested. Do you have to force her to death to be satisfied? I looked at him, utterly confused. She's already in the hospital. What are you doing here with a smile on your face? Do you want to drive her to suicide again? How could I have married such a venomous woman like you? I clenched the prenatal test report in my hand, wanting to explain, but he didn't even glance at me on the ground. Turning and walking away, watching his departing figure, I barely pieced together the truth from Gu Chengze's curses. Lin Chuchu attempted suicide, and Gu Chengze thought I was to blame. Immediately after, I received a call from the head assistant, President Mu. I'm calling to say goodbye. President Gu just fired me for abuse of power and appointed Secretary Lin to my position. What? It's not just me. All the employees who had conflicts with Secretary Lin were not spared. Almost all were fired, while I was eagerly anticipating the arrival of our child. Gu Chengze made his attitude clear in the most forceful way. He chose Lin Chuchu. Hanging up the phone, I was filled with anger, tearing the prenatal test report in my hand to shreds. I clenched my fists, my nails digging deeply into my flesh, drops of blood seeping from my palms and falling to the ground. I forced myself to calm down. Gu Chengze, since you've made things so absolute, then don't blame me for being ruthless. The consequences of offending me are not something you can bear. I packed my things and went straight back to my own home. My father, upon learning that I was home, didn't ask much, just silently instructed the housekeeper to tidy up my bedroom. My mother, however, keenly sensed that something was wrong. Wan Qing, did you and Chengze have a fight? She sat beside my bed and asked softly. I shook my head, not answering. The bruise on my wrist was exposed, left from the fall at the hospital. What happened here? My mother grabbed my wrist, her brows furrowed. It's nothing. I accidentally bumped into something. I didn't tell them about Gu Chengze hitting me, nor did I mention Lin Chuchu. I just said that I wanted to go home to rest for a few days and adjust my state. But my parents found out all those things with a little investigation. For half a month after I left, Gu Chengze didn't make a single call or send a single text. The Cold War and our mutual silence eroded the last of the warmth between us. On social media, I saw Lin Chuchu ostentatiously posting photos of her and Gu Chengze attending various events. Every angle she carefully selected seemed to be declaring the fact that she was about to become Mrs. Gu. President Gu took me to the International Business Summit today, and many people thought I was his wife. Thank you, President Gu, for the limited edition bag. Only someone who truly understands me knows what I like. President Gu says I'm his lucky star, and we closed another big deal today. Each post is accompanied by intimate photos of her and Gu Chengze. She's doing it on purpose. She knows I'll see it. I chuckled softly and turned off my phone. A grasshopper after autumn cannot hop around for long. Half a month later, under my arrangement, my father led a large number of Gu family shareholders in collectively withdrawing their investment. Gu's stock fell to the daily limit for several consecutive days. On the third day of the daily limit decline, Gu's parents came to our door. Wan Qing, how have you been lately? Gu's mother held my hand with a concerned expression. I'm fine. I responded indifferently and poured them tea. Why did you suddenly come back to your parents' home? Chengze said you weren't feeling well, and we're all worried about you. Gu's mother asked tentatively. Gu Chengze hasn't even made a phone call, but now he's sending his parents to inquire. My precious daughter is in excellent health, just not in a good mood lately. My father suddenly spoke, his tone icy. Gu's father and mother were stunned and exchanged glances. What's wrong? Did that kid Chengze upset Wan Qing? Gu's father asked with a frown. My father sneered and placed the teacup heavily on the table. The Gu family's upbringing is truly remarkable. Gus' father and mother's expressions changed drastically. My father recounted everything that had happened recently to them word by word. How Gu Qingze had led Lin Chuchu in my seaside villa and how he had indulged Lin Chuchu's provocations against me. And how, in the hospital, Gu Qingze had blamed me for everything without asking any questions. Your son has already dealt with all the employees in the company who had any friction with that woman. This is the Gu family's good son. And this is his attitude towards his wife, my father said coldly. Gus' father and mother's faces turned from green to white, and then from white to green. How is this possible? Gus' mother looked at me in disbelief. Qingze isn't like this. Facts speak louder than words, I said calmly. Gus' father angrily dialed Gu Cheng's number. You get over here right now, you rebellious son. Making this kind of thing. You have completely disgraced the Gu family. Gus' father hung up the phone and turned to apologize to me and my father repeatedly. I'm sorry. We failed to educate him properly. We will definitely give Wanqing an explanation for this matter. What explanation can Gu Qingze give me? Was he falsely telling me that in his heart I was far more important than Lin Chuchu? Or was he honestly telling me that he had long regretted this marriage? I don't need either. I got up and returned to the room, taking out the divorce-related documents. Today, let this farce come to a complete end. Soon, the door was pushed open, and Gu Qingze walked in. To my shock, Lin Chuchu actually came along as well. She hid behind Gu Qingze, looking pitiful. My parents' faces, which had been slightly softened by Gus' parents' apologies, instantly darkened again. Gu Qingze daring to bring her to my house at this time was just hopelessly stupid. Gus' father rushed up to him and slapped him across the face. You unfilial son. How dare you bring this woman here? Gu Cheng's face instantly swelled up red. He obviously didn't expect his father to hit him in public and was stunned for a moment. Dad, let me explain. Explain what? Another heavy slap landed on the other side of his face. You've completely disgraced our Gu family. Gu Qingze was beaten in front of Lin Chuchu, and his pride was completely gone. Just as he was about to retort, Gus' father kicked him. Unexpectedly, Lin Chuchu rushed over, actually blocking Gu Qingze, taking the kick for him. Aw! She cried out in pain, fell to the ground, clutching the leg that had been kicked, her face pale, and tears immediately welled up. Gus' mother was trembling with anger at her pretentious appearance. Bitch! Still acting pitiful at this point, Gus' mother rushed forward to hit her. But Gu Qingze quickly shielded Lin Chuchu in his arms. Watching this good show, I couldn't help but laugh and gently applauded. What a loving couple. Gu Qingze looked up at me, his eyes filled with anger. Mu Wanqing, you venomous woman. Don't slander my relationship with Chuchu here. We are completely innocent and have no improper dealings. He held Lin Chuchu tightly. I'm just atoning for my previous excessive behavior towards you. As soon as these words came out, my father stood up abruptly, enraged. Where has my daughter been excessive? Gus' father slapped Gu Qingze again. Shut up. Say another word and it'll break your legs. Gus' father turned around, showing me an apologetic smile, his voice gentle. Wanqing, we will definitely give you a satisfactory explanation for this matter. I stood up, looked around, my gaze finally landing on Gu Qingze. Now that both our elders are present today, everyone has seen Gu Cheng's choice. There's no need to maintain this marriage now that it has reached this point. I took out the divorce agreement I had prepared long ago. I've already drafted and signed the divorce agreement, and the property is divided according to the prenuptial agreement. When Lin Chuchu heard that we were getting a divorce, the painful expression on her face instantly disappeared, and her eyes revealed a triumphant look. She was just crying and wailing on the ground a moment ago, but now she's full of energy. Gu Qingze abruptly Lin Chuchu's hand and walked towards me, his face full of disbelief. Qing. You can't divorce me. Why not? I raised my eyebrows slightly. You're holding another woman, protecting her in your arms, and now you're telling me I can't divorce you. I told you. Chu and I really are just ordinary colleagues. Gu Chengze retorted. Gu Chengze. I don't care what kind of relationship you have with Lin Chu. I only know that you have chosen her, not me. In that case, there's no need for us to continue. I looked at him and said, word by word, Gu Chengze, remember when we first got married? I clearly told you, I really hate it when people touch my things. And you have crossed the line time and time again. How many chances have I given you? And how many times have you cherished them? If something is dirty, you throw it away. And it's the same with people. I looked him straight in the eyes. Gu Chengze, I don't want you anymore. Gu Chengze's face turned pale instantly. I picked up the divorce agreement and handed it to him. The property is divided according to the prenuptial agreement, which is very fair to you. Gu Chengze didn't take it. Qing. I won't sign it. You're just acting on impulse. At this moment, my father stood up. President Gu, if both parties can divorce peacefully, future cooperation can still be discussed. Otherwise, it's all off the table. The Gu group is already at its limit. If the cooperation really breaks down, the losses will be immeasurable. Gus' father pondered for a moment, and finally glared fiercely at Gu Chengze. Sign. Under the pressure of his parents, Gu Chengze finally signed. Gu Chengze and I are officially divorced. Lin Chu stood aside, unable to hide the triumph in her eyes. I met her gaze and smiled slightly. Lin Chu, congratulations on your successful climb to the top. This sentence made Gus' parents explode on the spot. You bitch. Gus' mother grabbed Lin Chu's hair, her voice distorted. It's all your fault. I called the butler over. See them out. Just then, our nanny walked in with a bowl of medicine. Miss, the pregnancy-preserving soup is ready. Drink it while it's hot. Everyone in the Gu family was stunned. Qing. You're pregnant. Gu Chengze's voice was hoarse and unrecognizable. I took the bowl from the nanny and drank it before looking at Gu Chengze. Last month, the day you hit me at the hospital, I was originally going to share this good news with you, but you weren't even willing to listen to a word I had to say. I said calmly. Gu Chengze's lips trembled, and he couldn't say a word. From that day on, you have forever lost the chance to be this child's father. My father's face changed drastically when he heard this. What? He dared to hit you? Father rushed to Gu Chengze in 3 steps and punched him in the face. Gu Chengze staggered backward, but did not resist. You beast. How dare you hit my daughter? And while she's pregnant? Father roared. Gu Chengze was bleeding from the corner of his mouth, but he just stared at me blankly, his eyes full of pain and regret. Qing. He murmured my name, his voice pleading. Give me one more chance. Just one, please. Chance. I sneered. I've given you many chances already, haven't I? Gu Chengze broke down instantly and knelt on the ground. Butler, see them out. The butler unceremoniously asked the Gu family to leave. Gus' father pulled up the mentally broken Gu Chengze, and Gus' mother grabbed Lin Chu's hair, pushing her out the door. The Gu group eventually avoided the fate of bankruptcy, but the impact of the divorce could not be erased. Within a few short weeks, the company's stock price plummeted by nearly 40%. Several partners terminated projects, and more than a dozen core investors withdrew their capital one after another. Gu Chengze was no longer the decisive and efficient president he once was. He locked himself in the villa all day, with liquor bottles scattered around the room. Alcohol became his refuge, and he was rarely sober. Lin Chu was unwilling to give up the opportunity she had worked so hard to get. and went to the villa every day to take care of him. She tidied the room, cooked a hangover soup for him, and even carefully wiped his body when Gu Chengze was drunk and unconscious. President Gu, drink some water. Lin Chuchu held the water glass. Gu Chengze raised his bloodshot eyes. His vision focused for a moment, then fell back into confusion. Xie, are you back? He reached out and stroked Lin Chuchu's cheek. Lin Chuchu froze. This was the 17th time. 17 times. Gu Chengze had mistaken her for that white moonlight of his who had already died. Not Xie. Chuchu. Lin Chuchu. She suppressed the bitterness in her heart and reminded him softly. Gu Chengze seemed not to hear and continued to talk to himself. Xie, now that you're back, please don't leave again. Okay. Enough. Lin Chuchu screamed, and the water glass fell heavily to the ground, shards scattering everywhere. Gu Chengze was startled by the sound and looked at her in confusion. I'm so stupid. Lin Chuchu's voice trembled. How could I fall in love with someone like you? A man who only recognizes me as someone else. You deserve it. You brought all this on yourself. Lin Chuchu finally erupted, pent-up grievances and jealousy surging out. You didn't cherish your wife, and now you've fallen to this state. Still thinking about your damn white moonlight. Gu Chengze's eyes suddenly sharpened, the drunkenness in his eyes dissipating. For the first time in so many days, he was completely sober. Lin Chuchu, you're not allowed to talk about her like that. Get out. Lin Chuchu sneered. You're still protecting her. Do you know she's not dead at all? Gu Chengze was stunned. What nonsense are you talking about? Nonsense. I'm telling you, she's not dead at all. She took your parents' money and faked her death, and left a will asking you to always support that useless boyfriend of hers company. Lin Chuchu shouted hysterically. Gu Chengze grabbed her neck and pinned her against the wall. Shut up. She struggled, her face gradually turning purple. Gu Chengze released his hand, and Lin Chuchu fell to the ground, gasping for breath. You think I knew all those details about you too? She's the one who found me. She felt that just having you support her boyfriend wasn't enough. She wanted more. So she found me. Helped me get to the top. To seek more benefits. Gu Chengze's face was pale, his body swaying. Impossible. Yu is already dead. Lin Chuchu laughed mockingly. Go ask your parents. Ask them if they gave Yu 50 million. Gu Chengze collapsed to the ground after verifying the information with a phone call. The call was short, but enough to crush him. His father's silence was too long, and his rebuttals were too pale. Because of you two viperous women, actually hurt Wan Qing, he muttered to himself. His voice fragmented. Lin Chuchu burst out laughing as she watched him collapse. Gu Chengze, don't blame others. You personally pushed away the person who loved you the most. Gu Chengze suddenly looked up. Get out. Never let me see you again. Gu Chengze returned to the company. He called an emergency board meeting and decisively cut off contact with several problematic partners. 3 days later, the once prominent Jiaheng Technology declared bankruptcy, and the company's founder, Huang Jiaheng, was taken away by the police for investigation on suspicion of financial fraud. This company was founded by Yu's boyfriend, and it was also an enterprise that Gu Chengze had been secretly supporting. At the same time, Lin Chuchu received a text message from an unknown number. I know you betrayed me. As night deepened, Lin Chuchu quickened her pace, feeling like someone was following her. She turned into an alley, wanting to take a shortcut home. The next morning, the front page of the morning paper published a piece of news. 2 female bodies were found in an alley, and the police preliminarily judged it as mutual killing. Gu Chengze looked at the newspaper, his eyes falling on the names of the 2 people. Lin Chuchu. Yu. Time flies. Mu Tian Tian is almost 1 year old. Her little face is round and cute. Her eyes are like mine. And her nose is like Gu Cheng's. Every time I see her sleeping so cutely, I can't help but kiss her little face. I named her Tian Tian in the hope that she would have a peaceful and happy life, without any worries. Mom. Tian Tian said a new word again today. I held my daughter and said excitedly to my mother, who had just returned from the garden. My mother put down her scissors and took Tian Tian, her face full of pride. Our Tian Tian is the smartest. Come on, call Grandma. Grandma Tian Tian called out in a milky voice, making her mother burst into laughter. After my parents retired, they handed the company over to me, and their greatest pleasure every day is to accompany their granddaughter. Gu Chengza has come to the door many times, kneeling and begging to remarry. Every time I refused. The damage has been done, and some things cannot be undone even with an apology. Wan Qing, the Gu family's old man, called again. Father said. I shook my head. Dad, the rules can't be broken. They can't visit Tian Tian until she's 3 years old. 3 years passed quickly. Tian Tian grew into a clever and bright little girl, with a stubborn personality, just like me. When she first met the Gu family's elders, she obediently called out Grandpa, Grandma, moving the old couple to tears. Gu Chengza stood aside, his eyes filled with anticipation. Tian Tian, I'm your dad. Tian Tian tilted her little head, looking at him seriously. Mommy said that if you make a mistake, you have to be punished. You made Mommy sad, so I can't call you Daddy. Silence filled the room. Gu Chengza crouched down, trying to meet his daughter's gaze. Daddy knows he was wrong. Daddy regrets it very much. Regret doesn't help, Tian Tian said in a serious yet childish voice. Mommy said that once some things happen, there's no medicine for regret. Gu Chengza looked up at me, his eyes filled with pain and remorse. I looked at him, smiled slightly, and didn't say anything. He once had the opportunity to have a complete and wonderful family, but he shattered that opportunity with his own hands. Now, my career is thriving. I have a lovely daughter, parents who love me, and my life is fulfilling and beautiful. No one is indispensable to anyone else. Gu Chengza comes to see Tian Tian every day. Each time before leaving, he stands in the yard, watching us from afar in the living room. I know what he's thinking. If time could go backward, he would definitely make a different choice. But life doesn't have what-ifs, and everyone has to be responsible for their choices. And I don't need a belated apology, nor do I need anyone's guilt.